case of blatant GOP fascism. On its face, no ambiguity, no muddying of the water, just blatant. You see, Trump and his cronies are currently working out a plan to rig the midterms. They are desperate to hold the cross-branch majority that they're currently holding in the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, which they've held for a while, but you know what I mean, the executive branch, everything. They don't want there to be a single part of the government that they lose in the upcoming midterms. Notably, Congress. They do not want to lose any seats in Congress. And so their goal is to force just a few extra victories, a few extra guaranteed red seats into Congress in these new upcoming midterms. And where they're trying to do it is in probably the most reliable place that you could slice up some new voting districts and guarantee that seats get filled by GOP Congress candidates. And that would be Texas. And so Texas's governor, the wheelchair man, Greg Abbott, has been working to push forward a bill that would do a bunch of stuff, but tied into it vitally is basically allowing permission for the Republicans to redraw a ton of borders and a ton of outlines for where and how many districts there could be throughout Texas. Basically meaning that a lot of the deep red parts of Texas, they could potentially just make new districts out of, and that would just be new Congress seats they'd be creating that are guaranteed to go red. Their plan was to force a majority through gerrymandering, very openly too. Like, this isn't a secret plan, it's not hidden or anything, they're doing it very openly. The Democrats, full well knowing this, decided, the House of Representatives of Texas Democrats decided, you know what, if we have to be present in order to vote yes, no, or present for this vote to even be held, much less for the bill to be passed, then we'll all just flee the state and refuse to come to work. Which I gotta say, that's a ballsy move, especially when you're dealing with fascists that are absolutely begging you to try and stand by your principles rather than kowtow to the fall of American democracy. Because, of course, within a day, wheelchair boy Greg Abbott was out there screaming about how these state representatives that had left the state were breaking the law. They weren't breaking the law, by the way. There is no law that they're breaking. There's a reason why there's a rule that they're not allowed to hold their vote until all of them are there. And that is because this is how it is supposed to work. Like, this is a valid strategy in the state house. But that's besides the point. They've all left to different states. I imagine many of them are in states like New York and California because those governors have promised said House members of Texas that they will be safe there. And if the FBI or federal agents or whatever it may be come a-knocking, then they'll do everything possible to keep them safe. Though I don't know how much they can do, considering at a certain point it might be an act of rebellion, like, against the federal government, so, I don't think anyone's trying to start a civil war over these House reps. But now the FBI is announcing that they are preparing for a manhunt. They are going to be bringing the House reps in, probably for arrest. It's looking like pretty much the entire Democrat side of the Texas House of Representatives is going to federal prison once the FBI catches them. But it could be crazier or not as crazy as that. We'll have to hop into this news story and see what it's all about, because things have been unfolding and developments have been coming out at a pretty breakneck pace with this story, and I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff I'm missing, so let's hop right into it.
Changing gears to the latest on the political standoff in Texas, the state's attorney general is now investigating a political action committee run by Democrat Beto O'Rourke. It's called Powered by People. AG Ken Paxton says it is illegally paying for lawmakers to leave the state to derail a vote on a Republican redistricting plan.
So is this literally just using the Democrats fleeing the state and their bogus claim that it's an illegal act that they've engaged in? They're now going to try to use this to attack the funding of these Texas Democrats? Like, these Texas Democrats are now criminals, which means if you fund Texas Democrats, you're a criminal too, and we're going to shut you down. You're funding criminals. Good Lord. This is how fascism happens. They'll keep on crying law and order as the literal real criminals destroy law and order in front of all of us. And eventually they'll make it a crime to say what everyone is seeing.
Lawmakers from both sides spoke with Major Garrett last night on the Takeout.
Well, our goal here is to defeat this particular special session. And as you know, the governor calls it for 30 days. And so we have towards the end of August to finish out this session. Special sessions are supposed to be just that, special. They're not supposed to be overtime plays for purely partisan gifts.
Not one Democrat has been stripped of their seniority, their committee assignments, their budgets, their staff. Hell, we haven't even taken away their parking spots yet. So no.
You're sending the FBI to hunt them down for something that is not illegal. What are you talking about, bro? Why does this guy look like an anime villain? Like, he looks like an American in an anime. Like one of those scenes in Death Note where it like randomly cuts to like the Oval Office and you see the president and a bunch of like American Secret Service guys drawn in the anime art style. And trust me, when characters in anime are American, you can really tell by how they look. This guy looks like how anime artists draw American dudes that work in government. I don't know. He just looks silly. Look at him, dude. Look at this dude. Look at this guy.
I continue to call on the leadership, the Republican leadership in the state of Texas, to do what the voters of Texas want. In addition to the redistricting, they want more than just bold rhetoric. They want bold action.
All right, I want to bring in CBS News Texas reporter Trevor Sohaki. Trevor, thanks for coming on the show. We are hearing new information about the involvement of. Are we hearing new information about the involvement of the FBI?
Yeah, that's right, Tom. We're just getting this into our newsroom in the last hour or so. Now, this comes from Senator Cornyn here in Texas. He says that the FBI is now going to get involved with the search for those Texas House Democrats that left the state house earlier this week and are now holed up in places like Illinois, New York, Massachusetts. Earlier this week, Senator Cornyn...
Dude, it's so fucking cringe, bro. And, of course... The entire administration, the entire government right now is dominated by Trump sycophants. Like, there's no bigger Trump sycophant than, like, glorious Glazer Kash Patel. Once again, the guy who wrote that cringy series of Macbeth rip-off children's books about Trump being the king and Hillary Clinton being the deceitful queen trying to plot an assassination coup attempt on the king. It's really cringe shit. These people are sycophants. And not only that, but Trump didn't like a recent financial report that came out about jobs over the last month. The July jobs numbers came back and they were pretty bad. Trump promised more jobs. There were expected to be a lot of jobs this month or this last month, and there weren't a lot of jobs. There are actually record low amounts of jobs in this month of July or last month of July. And Trump was so mad about those numbers coming out. He didn't like the data. It made him look bad. So now he fired all those people. And then on top of that, Trump fired the whole EPA and has now had them put out a statement. Dude, it's crazy. Trump. Dude. Yep, here it is. Popular EPA database is in limbo amid science cuts. The database helps companies calculate their greenhouse gas emissions. Its creator left the EPA after being investigated for criticizing the Trump administration. That's right. Not only have they ousted the EPA director, but on top of that, Trump is forcing the EPA to put out reports that basically claim climate change is not real. I'm not joking. We're about to see a torrent of government-sponsored, as far as any conservative in a debate can argue, the government said this. This is a government report that climate change isn't real, that carbon emissions aren't going up. They are about to pump out, through the EPA, they are about to manufacture a shitload of data claiming that climate change is not real. It is going to fuel climate skepticism for a while. Because it's going to be sources from the EPA that chuds are going to be pulling out in the future to claim climate change isn't real, because Trump is forcing them to put out these statements. Darkest fucking timeline. What do you do about that? When you know that the people in charge of an institution that is considered trustworthy are going to be forced to put out false information so that a group of people can use said false information to push lies, and you know it's going to happen and it hasn't even started yet necessarily. It feels weird to know that's going to happen but not to be able to really be able to do anything about it, you know?
Cornyn called on the FBI. He asked the FBI director, Kash Patel, he asked the director to help out with the location and bringing those Texas House Democrats back. We also heard from President Trump. President Trump said the FBI may get involved here because the issue at stake is that the Texas Department of Public Safety, you would know them as the Texas Rangers, their only authority, their jurisdiction is within the state of Texas. So as soon as these Texas House Democrats left the state of Texas, the Department of Public Safety can't do anything with that. They have to wait until the Democrats come back, and then they can bring them into Austin, into the Capitol, for that quorum that is needed to pass any bills to get those votes on. And so the senators, especially the Republican Senator Cornyn here, he asked the FBI to get involved. We're still not sure exactly what level of involvement the FBI is going to be in this case.
Dude, I'm pretty certain they're going to have the FBI do a full-on manhunt and arrest them. There has never been a bigger opportunity for them to arrest their political opponents in the public, in the open, and to defend it, and for their supporters to defend it. Texas being able to essentially cancel out any Democrat pushback in the whole state, turning it into the ultimate Republican stronghold, there's no way they don't do it. And remember, the FBI is not a nonpartisan institution now. It's run by Kash Patel, the biggest Trump glazer ever. So the FBI is just pro-Trump. It is an arm of the GOP now.
Are they going to be going across state lines? Are they going to physically arrest these lawmakers and bring them back into Texas? Still working all that out, still reporting all this out. And I should mention as well, CBS News.
I'm guessing federal charges, genuinely. I'm putting my money on the FBI is going to try to press genuine federal charges on them. They're going to try to put them in federal prison and make them into felons for this. I'm not joking. I'm putting my money on that shit. There is no way the opportunity is there, and Texas Republicans under Trump with the FBI on their side don't take it. This is everything they want.
News has reached out to the FBI for comment and has not heard back yet, but still there's a very developing story just within the last hour or so.
Yeah, we're really trying to get to the bottom of all that gray territory that we find ourselves in. So, Trevor, break down this new investigation into Beto O'Rourke's PAC and how he's responding.
Yeah, so this comes...
So, yeah, they're trying to attack the funders of the Texas Democrats by saying the Texas Dems are not showing up to the quorum, which makes them criminals. Not true. And so the PACs supporting the Democrats in Texas are funding criminals who aren't doing their jobs. That's why they're attacking the PAC.
Comes from the Attorney General here, Attorney General Ken Paxton.
Which, of course, the reality of it is this is their best opportunity to go after the Texas Democrats' funding. If they can just cut off the flow of any money for any future Democrat campaign because all the future potential super PAC members are scared to donate, then they're not going to donate. And there's not going to be enough money to run a successful Democrat campaign in Texas, which is no doubt exactly what Republicans are planning.
Paxton, he issued a request to examine. Basically, he wants to look at the documents and the communications from Beto O'Rourke's PAC, this political action committee, because all these Texas House Democrats we've been talking about, they left the state. But because they've left the state so many times during these special sessions in order to block Republicans, a few years back, Republicans made a new rule, a new law that says that these Democrats or anyone who leaves the state and prevents a quorum, they are fined $500 a day. So that is a steep fine that can easily accumulate over time.
I mean, I feel like the House reps and the Texas House of Representatives will probably be fine being able to pay that. But, like, at what point does it become a serious crime? Is it just an infinitely compounding $500 a day? Like, it's been a week now. They owe a lot of money now. Assuming that this is actually a legitimate, like, law that has been precedent and exists and wasn't just cobbled together by Republicans.
So these Democrats are now facing fines of $500 a day to whatever exponent that becomes as this special session continues on. And so O'Rourke, he told us, he confirmed to us that his political action committee, his group, his team, they are helping out these Democrats with any monetary needs that they might have. Because not only is it the flights to Illinois and
so they're attacking the PAC because the PAC is offering to pay the fines that Democrats are incurring by not showing up for the quorum, by being out of state. So it's not just to attack the Democrats' money for future campaigns, but the Democrats are going to need that money for fines and to fund, essentially, this protest of sorts. I see. They're going after the money for more reasons than one.
These other states, it's also living expenses out there, and of course these fines which just grow and grow every single day. Attorney General Ken Paxton, he says that this is bribery. He's accusing Beto O'Rourke and his team of bribery here, but of course O'Rourke and his team have pushed back. They say they are simply trying to keep democracy alive. They're trying to keep democracy on the line. They call out what he says is irony for Attorney General Ken Paxton calling others out for bribery. Of course, a lot of back and forth here between the two sides.
Trevor Sohaki reporting for us from Dallas, Texas. Say hi to all my friends at CBS News Texas over there. Thank you so much.
So this redistricting plan by Republicans, the Democrats in Texas are doing everything they can to stop it, and they're incurring possible serious legal injury in doing so. They could end up in some serious trouble for this. The Republicans could try to make an example out of them, or use this as an opportunity to take them off the board politically altogether, which could mean prison time. These are scary times. Democracy is dying in front of our very eyes. The Republicans are actively executing a public plan to rig the next midterm, so we can't take the House away from them, or take Congress from them, sorry. Like, we've got to lock in. And when we get to these midterms that are now less than 2 years away, about a year away now, we got to vote like crazy. If you're 18, if you turned 18 like this year, or you're about to turn 18, you need to make it your top priority to very soon get registered to vote as soon as reasonably possible, and check before the election that your voter registration is still legitimate. Republicans, there's a lot of evidence that Republicans got a lot of votes for Kamala Harris stricken during the 2024 election by challenging the voter registrations and the ballots of millions of Americans, tens of millions of Americans. And it's very possible that you could find your ballot challenged and thus left uncounted a day or a week before the election if you vote early. So be very on top of this. Be ready to vote. I know it's not exciting or glamorous. It doesn't feel super powerful, but much like leaving a like on your favorite left-wing streamers' videos, it may seem like a drop in a bucket, but man, if everybody just decided to add their drop, if everyone decided to add their drop, there'd be no stopping the left. and there'd be no stopping this channel. So if you like this video, if you like my content in any way whatsoever, then please consider leaving a thumbs up and a comment down below. It really does help the channel a lot and means the world. It's totally free and only takes a second. So consider supporting the channel with a like and a comment if you're watching in the future, and leave a like now if you're watching presently while I'm live. It really means the world, everybody who goes out of their way to be a liker and not a lurker. You guys are the best. And of course, consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon to turn on all notifications so you get notified in the future when I upload new videos or put out new streams. You obviously want to get notified, so ring that bell icon. And if you want to see more from me on other platforms in the future, be sure to follow my social medias, linked down below in the description. Particularly my fan Discord, as that is the main hub of my community and fan base. And on top of that, I host weekly watch parties, movie nights, call-in streams, and gaming events in there. And tonight I'm going to be hosting a watch party of the new South Park episode about Kristi Noem and Ice right after stream in the Xander's Theater chat. So I hope you guys are excited. I hope to see y'all there. It's going to be a blast. Like I said before, link to join is down below in the description. And finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep a roof above my head and lights on here in the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to someone else on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me though, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, please be sure to have a good one.